Are you sitting down watching this right now? If you are, you need to include this stretch into your warm-up. And if you have anterior pelvic tilt, you definitely need to include this stretch into your routine. Check it out. Whenever we sit, our hip flexors are in a shortened position because the hip flexors help raise up the thigh towards our body. To stretch them out, we're going to bring our thigh away from our body, like how my right side is, and feel that stretch on the top of the thigh. Just as important is maintaining a neutral pelvic position. If we lose our pelvic position because of anterior pelvic tilt, you are losing a stretch in your hip flexors and not promoting good stability. To make sure you maintain a neutral pelvic position, we're going to have our thumb knuckle in contact with our low back. Just like this, it has to be the thumb knuckle. Now, some of you will not be able to do that. If that's you, you can use this alternative, which is lying on a bench. You could use a massage table, which I'm not a fan of because it's harder to feel your back. You could use a counter, a hard counter, which is great too. But I like a bench, which works great. And what you do is you can just actually use your back of your thigh to help bring your leg that's being stretched lower. But at all times, you must maintain a flat back. For those of you who are taller, maybe 6'1", 6'2", and taller, for a regular standard bench, you're going to need to raise that bench up a little bit. So you can use a stepper, whatever you have, but you may need some clearing room in order for the thigh that's down or the leg that's being stretched to not touch that ground, because it could limit your stretch. Now, if you're not big, if you're not tall, if you are short, if you are thin, you may not be able to really feel much of anything during this, and you may need some assistance. In this case, I wrapped a little ab strap with a weight attached to it around my thigh, and as you can see, my left thigh is lower than when I was not using any assistance. So this is a great way to make sure you get a very good stretch. If you have a partner, this is me helping my client stretch out her left hip flexor, and I'm pushing down pretty much as far as it can go before either her low back doesn't come up, or we've reached the limit of her flexibility, which we did. Now, the problem with this picture is that my client thinks that her low back was flat, but in reality, her pelvic line is not vertical, which it should be in order to make sure that you have a neutral pelvic position. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below. Thank you.